I'm excited, for 2023 for this. And to kick things
Yeah.
off, I mean, dream matches. What better way to get to know a wrestling fan, I'd say, than by asking them, what would be your dream match if you could book? And I was thinking about this last night, a little transition into the topic. Sarah, when kids are in school and they're doodling, and
Mm-hmm.
not paying attention, because every kid doesn't pay attention in class, but they're all doing something different. I used to make match cards
Oh
for
my
my
gosh.
wrestling action figures, and then I would go home, and because obviously you have no homework, I
Yeah.
would do my own shows with action figures
Such
using
a boy.
LimeWire for the theme songs and
Oh my
entrances.
god.
I went,
Getting viruses on your mom's computer.
oh yeah, oh yeah, we got rid of that desktop years later, but
Yeah.
the point, but I like it was it. I was just making dream matches all the time with these action figures because I not only had WWE guys, but TNA, and then
Mm-hmm.
all that. So like dream matches, I love doing it. I love talking about it, and I wrote some down here. You wrote some down yourself, and this is where I will let you start and please us with your
Okay.
first initial ones, because that's a disclaimer here. We kind of went ape shit on this,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just went word vomit. I mean, so we're not going to touch all of them, but I'm at least, you do what you want, Sarah. You're your own person, but I'm going to keep a running list of dream matches. And when I think of one that would be appropriate, or if the topic assumes, you go back to your list. So, Sarah, you start off with yours.
Okay. So one that can actually happen, I think this is I mean, it's only like one of two that I think that could actually still happen. Um because all the other ones are either retired or they are no longer with us. Oh, actually no, there's another one that's later,
Oh, that happened.
but I would say Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles. I feel like that would be fire.
Oh,
So good.
that would be
Um
really good.
that was the first one that I thought of and I was like fire. Second one, John Cena, because I have to,
Have to.
versus Hulk Hogan. Back, obviously, not like 80-year-old Hulk Hogan. And the reason why I love this too is because we saw Hogan and Rock, and that was like Hogan like passing the torch to the Rock.
Yeah.
Then we saw Rock to Cena. We saw
Mhm.
twice, but it is what it is. But I feel like when we're breaking down the similarities between them, it's more like Cena and Hogan are have a lot more in common than he and The Rock did,
Oh,
because they were
absolutely.
both around in the company for way longer than The Rock. They were both predominantly baby faces, and they very much pandered to the kids. So I feel like it would just be really interesting to see that, because let's say they were both baby faces at the time too, like
Mhm.
imagine that atmosphere, because there are diehard Hulkamaniacs and there are diehard members of the C Nation. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? Like, who
Yeah.
do you root for? Like, who are you against? Who do you want to see win? Who do you want to lose? So I thought that would be cool, and I'll do my third one and then I'll give you the floor for a minute.
All right.
But this one, I feel like there's no way that I couldn't say this one, because I feel like if this isn't on your list, then I don't know what kind of old school wrestling fan you are. But DX versus the NWO,
Yeah, that's
like,
standard.
come on, but like WCW NWO. We
Oh,
don't. I
absolutely.
mean,
No,
we
not this.
acknowledge. Yeah, no, we don't. We don't like.
Not
We
Big
acknowledge.
Show and Booker
Yeah.
T. Like, yeah.
Yes. Well, but we
Shawn
also don't
Michaels
like
was
to.
never in the NWO.
No.
Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's just the 3-on-3. But what I meant too is like, I don't mean WWE's version of the NWO, because Vince just did that to squash them and
Yeah,
whatever. So I'm saying like WCW.
yeah,
And I'm like, the whole reason, and this is my opinion, you can disagree with me all you want, but I'm right. Um, the reason why DX exists is because of the NWO. So I feel like it would just be such an epic match for those two teams to face off, because I mean,
that would be
the
incredible.
NWO um walked so DX could run. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
The biggest what if in history. in my
I
one
know.
of the biggest what ifs in wrestling history is what if they opened the door at Nitro when DX invaded. That might be one of the
I
biggest what ifs ever because they, the wrestlers wanted it. Nash was saying behind these, like, yeah, just let them open up, see what happens. Like,
well, and
WWE was the frat house. You know,
yeah.
that just whatever happened, it was the inmates running the asylum where WWE was kind of corporate America, but like the fun, funky kind now, like this new age one where it's like, yeah, we meditate for our lunch period, like that type of shit, but 90s. So that's just my two.
Imagine the money that could have been made from that feud.
Oh my god.
Like, I mean, they were like each other's equivalent in different companies, so it's kind of like, I don't know, that would have been just amazing. So anyway, so those are my first three.
All right. Um, I'm gonna pick through mine just because like some of them are just like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But um, my first one here, The Rock versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That, to be honest, that's the real feud of who's the head of the table.
The bloodline.
That's like the bloodline, but like the pre-years.
Mm-hmm. Like the original founders, the
Yeah, like the
fathers,
ancient times
the
of
founding fathers.
the Brahma Bull versus the Samoan Submission Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Motor City Machine Guns versus New Day.
Ooh, okay.
That would be really cool
Mm-hmm.
because you remember.
So drastically different too.
That's what I'm saying.
Which makes it more interesting. I would those segments, like backstage moments and stuff with them, would be so weird. Like I can't even imagine like how that would go down, but it would be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I just in Consequences Creed is Xavier Woods.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who doesn't know, so like I just think that'd be so good with the chemistry they already have. And then all right, let me give a couple. If you're watching this right now, give your dream matches in the comments, and we will do a little rundown after this before we hit that 3 count. I have your NWO. So you used your NWO versus DX. I said Outsiders versus DX. I'm excluding Hogan.
Okay. So yeah, so does that
like
include Pac then? X-Pac? Or is it just
he could come out as 1-2-3 Kid and interfere?
Okay. But
There you
which
go.
two members of DX then? Triple H and HBK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like it. That would be good.
That would see.
That'd
That's
really
how you
good.
book that in a way where it's like, everyone wins.
Yeah.
I have this one, Bruno Sammartino versus Roman Reigns.
Uh-huh. I
That
saw
would be
that
really
one.
cool.
I saw that one online anyway when I was looking up to see
The
what others.
Dudleys versus the Usos.
That would be really good.
And then I'll give a couple women's ones before I toss it back to you.
Okay.
Liv versus Trish.
Okay.
Liv versus Lita.
Okay.
China versus Jade Cargill.
Okay. I have a couple of these similar ones on here
And then
too.
China versus Bianca.
Okay.
Bianca versus Jade Cargill, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Becky Lynch versus Ivory.
I would love that.
Ivory does not get the credit that she deserves. I think if you give Ivory his right to censor.
I agree. I was watching something about her not too long ago. I don't know if it was like an interview or something like that. But yeah, I do think that when we talk about the women of like the Attitude Era, that obviously I love Trish, I love Lita, but I feel like, yeah, Ivory is definitely one that's consistently left off. And it was like she was a workhorse. So and she did so much. So I feel like, yeah, she definitely deserves more credit. It's unfortunate that she doesn't.
And then I just saw this one. This one's hilarious. Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah versus Damage Control.
Oh my god. Can you no. I have one that's really funny. Or at least I think it's really funny.
Okay.
When I first read it, I thought it was really funny because I was looking up what other people had said that their dream matches were, so I had to write this one down. Cactus Jack versus Mankind versus Dude Love.
Oh my god. I have one very similar to that.
Versus Mick Foley.
Where is it? I have Three Faces of Foley versus the Wyatt Six.
Versus Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy, and yeah. No, I know. That's like, but we've never seen them in the same room. So, but yeah. So
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, I want to write that one
That's
down. It's not
Love and Howdy.
Yeah. So I was like, it's not even like my dream match per se, but I was like, I mean, I would be entertained because I mean, there was that Royal Rumble where I think we saw all three faces of Foley come out. So
one of the greatest performances in entertainment.
yeah,
The man went out and did a Rumble match 3 times, 3 different characters.
And it's like, I have a leather mask that barely covers my face, but I am different. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few of mine: Jeff Hardy versus Seth Rollins. Fire. Absolute fire.
Jeff Hardy versus Seth. Oh, that would be good.
That would be so good.
Right.
Eddie Guerrero versus Shawn Michaels. We were robbed of that, unfortunately. And I say robbed of that in the most respectful way possible. Because obviously Eddie is one of my all-time favorites, and Eddie passed away, unfortunately, before it could happen. So that's why I'm saying we were robbed.
Damn Grim Reaper.
I know. That would have been so good. And it's one of those matches that kind of makes me sad for Eddie, because I'm like, although he had such a great career, especially if we're just gonna even focus on WWE, not even like WCW or anything else, it's like he had so much left. And even though he was 36, it's like it just sucks so bad that he left when he did, because there was so much more for him to do, and to have that be something that had been played around with even that early, because he passed in November. So they were already talking about this being at WrestleMania 6 months later. It's like, oh man, like that could have been one of the greatest matches of all time. And it's just unfortunate that we never got to see it, but I guess we can, play around with the idea. I have 2 women's matches on here. Trish Stratus versus Sasha Banks. I feel like that would just be so good, because I feel like they're very similar in how they are in the ring. And we're talking about like young Trish, obviously. Like, as much as I love Trish being around and having, matches and whatever, I want to see prime Trish versus Sasha Banks. And then I had Chyna versus Beth Phoenix.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Like, I was gonna say Rhea Ripley, but like we haven't gotten there yet, because we're kind of talking like
that's the thing. Rhea's not like
she's not there yet. She's not there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that would have been sick. And then one which, semi controversial, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because I think if you guys hear the match idea, you're gonna probably agree. Chris Benoit versus Daniel Bryan in a submission match.
See, that's
like unfair. That's like unfair.
That's a 5-star match.
I know. You don't even have to like see it. You're just like, yeah, okay, that's on the card, 5 stars. Like, you don't even have to see it. Like, it doesn't have to take place.
It, and it's just I'm in. Oh my god,
so good.
All right, so we're gonna jump into my tag team.
Okay, I don't have any of those, so.
Well, I just have so many, and I'm not kidding. Some of these are really funny, and you'll like one of them. We have Andre the Giant and the Big Show versus Braun Strowman and the Great Khali.
Oh my god. You couldn't have even like put Amos in it instead?
He's a special ref.
Okay. Okay. Or Braun Strowman, big meaty men slapping meat.
Eminem versus Pretty Deadly.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, no, I think I would have to go with Yes Boy. Yeah. I liked Eminem. I love their music, iconic entrances. I love it, but like Pretty Deadly, like
I hated Eminem.
I couldn't stand him. I was a big John Morrison girl. Like, he was my favorite, like my crush on Tough Enough. So he was so hot to me. So like him coming out like that with like the belt hanging out of his pants, like, ooh, so I was all about it.
We have America's Most Wanted versus the Street Profits.
Okay.
That would be really good. Yeah. Beer Money versus the APA.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I just had this idea about the APA. Now I can't remember.
Young Bucks versus the Street Profits.
That would be fire. And I don't even like the Young Bucks, but God, I was gonna say
Super Kick Pate.
No, I don't like them. There's nothing.
And then to round out the whatever you call it, tag team, the Samoa Joe and The Rock, resolve their feud. and then they team to take on Roman and another member of the Bloodline.
Sami Zayn.
I knew you were going to say Sami Zayn.
I'm just
I knew
joking.
it.
Just joking. No, those sound good.
Yeah,
It's
those
like
are.
it's so like lame that we're like saying this, but we'll never see it unless you want to. Oh my gosh, you know how
Unless
you're
you want to
saying you want
merge
to.
WWE and AEW, then
No,
yeah, you could.
no, I was gonna say, since you were like, oh, I might like, upload some like video game streams. Why don't you like reenact our dream matches on WWE 2K?
Well, you're just really previewing the nonsense wrestling federation, which I really like.
Yeah, so then you can just do that. Give me all the matches.
That's what it is. We're gonna be yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. You were
Oh
just like,
yeah, that's part of
oh,
the plans of 2023 is these dream
oh.
matches are going to be
Well,
acted out in some way, shape, or form.
I'm not a mind reader.
I'm
So
sorry.
I didn't know. So I only have a couple other ones. I have Shawn Michaels versus Dolph Ziggler. Chef's kiss. So good. So good.
Okay.
DDP versus Randy Orton. Diamond Cutter versus the RKO. Daniel Bryan versus Nakamura.
That would be lit.
Very good. This is my last one that I have, I believe. This one only because of like the absolute insanity that could be their feud and their storyline because they're so different. I would love it. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk.
Oh yeah, that would be really good.
The jokes write themselves. Like, we had the brief little stint of like Jericho trying to get, pouring whiskey on CM Punk and then tripping on it, which he was pissed at himself about because he's like, this just ruined the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, it did. But just like, like Stone Cold, so good on the mic. Him talking shit to CM Punk, great. Him chugging beers in front of, a straight edge guy, so good. Just like pouring beer over him after he wins. I love it. So good. We do have a few people in here.
I have a couple. I want to get some. All right,
okay, you have more. Okay.
I have just like I want to go with the crazy ones that you like laugh at. These are ones that like if you were to watch it, you would just laugh or be like, "This is just nonsense." Let me find it here. We have Abyss versus Kane in a Ring of Fire Monsters ball match.
Dang. Okay.
JAS versus Bloodline would be good. Ryback versus Rikishi.
Ew.
Strictly because Ryback has to take the stink face.
Okay. I feel like that's not enough punishment for him, but
well, it's a long one.
Okay. 5 minutes of the stink face. 5 minutes.
Shark Boy versus Lava Girl.
Oh my god. So stupid.
And then the last one to round it out, the Doctor of Thugonomics versus Platinum Matt Caster in a rap battle.
Oh my god. That I just feel like you're trying to set Cena up to fail because he's like not I don't know because that oh my gosh.
Spit.
Dude, wait, I know he's good. I mean, he's
what do you mean setting up to fail then?
Because I feel like I don't know, I guess if you're talking about prime Thugonomics Cena, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so if you could just like fast forward to the future.
No, I mean, it could be now. I think he could spit a rhyme or two, but I'm saying like
Cena's not over in that way though. The way that guy is. Also, I saw.
He was though.
Yeah, back then, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but if you think if he came out and rapped at Mania,
I know. Dude, I almost cried. But anyway, so I saw a clip. So I had a friend who was at the show, the AEW show last night. And I don't know their names, but the guy that raps, what you just said was Max Caster. So he came out and he had this on his Instagram story. So he started, to do his rap or whatever. And he like messed up. So he had to stop. And then he was like, okay. And like everyone's laughing because they were like, what? And then he was like, okay, Los Angeles, let's do it again. And he like turns around and like comes back out or whatever. And so my friend was like, yeah, we're not going to see that on Friday. Because they're definitely going to cut that out. So I just thought it was funny because, like I think people forget that kind of stuff happens. So I just thought it was funny.
That's interesting.
But anyway, so we did get some suggestions from David. So I will pick out a few.
Oh, you will.
He agrees, or he says Eddie versus Seth. So good.
Would be fire.
That would be so good. He also says Kenny Omega versus Eddie. You can speak to that because I'm not I'm
Kenny
not
Omega might
familiar.
be the greatest wrestler on planet Earth.
Okay, all
I'm
right,
just,
without revealing your love interest,
I, that is a fact of life.
the Elite versus DX,
The, the elite.
Evolution versus Undisputed Era,
That would be, that would be pretty cool. Adam
Adam Cole
Cole.
versus HBK.
Did Pop when he went into the Bay?
No, I saw that. That was like I almost wanted to share it, the video from last night. I almost wanted to share it on my Twitter for the simple fact to prove to people who crap on wrestling or who think like it's only for kids or that it's like no one really cares. I want to be like, when have you ever heard anything this loud at like a sporting event or something? Like, you can't tell me that people don't care or like that they're not into it or it's lame or whatever. I'm like, listen to this crowd. Like,
It
listen
was
to that. That wasn't when he just returned. It was him coming back out for his match. So it wasn't like they were just like popping because it was like, oh my god, he's back. It's like, no, that was later.
yeah.
So it's like, did you hear that? That was, I mean, just watching it, you could tell it was deafening if you were
It
there.
was unbelievable. I fucking love Adam Cole too. Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, make it happen. I don't know if
I'm
it probably has,
it'll probably happen
or
anyway.
it probably has, so I can go watch it. But I would like to see that. Yeah, you pick
I
up.
wanted to shout out D22 Williams before he left. He did give us a big old compliment. He said, "You two make a good team, and Sarah's a true journalist." Shout out to him. He says, "One of the best on YouTube. Thank you so much. Respect. Catch you next time. Good night."
Here we go. We got a fan.